Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Preeti Kaur. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi en route to New Delhi after successful completion of the three-nation visit to Nigeria, Brazil and Guyana. Cricket, culture, cuisine connect India and Guyana, says Prime Minister Modi. Zelensky says Putin using the country as missile testing ground. Donald Trump picks Pam Bondi for Attorney General as Matt Gaetz withdraws. After concluding his successful three-nation visit to Nigeria, Brazil and Guyana, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi is en route to New Delhi. The Prime Minister was in Guyana on the final leg of his visit. Announcing his departure from Guyana, the Ministry of External Affairs, in a post on social media platform X, said that a very warm and productive state visit of the Prime Minister to Guyana has concluded. Prime Minister Modi made history as the first Indian head of state to visit Guyana in over 50 years. During his visit, Prime Minister Modi addressed a community program in Guyana. He said that India and Guyana share a unique relationship which is based on shared heritage, culture and value.
I have great memories of visiting your wonderful country over 2 decades ago. At that time, I held no official position. I came to Guyana as a traveler, full of curiosity. Now, I have returned for this land of many waters as the Prime Minister of India. A lot of things have changed between then and now. But the love and affection of my Guyanese brothers and sisters remains the same. My experience has reaffirmed you can take an Indian out of India, but you cannot take India out of an Indian.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi also spoke about the efforts being undertaken to make state-of-the-art infrastructure in the country.
India is a global hub for e-commerce, AI, fintech, agriculture, technology, and more. We have reached Mars and the moon. From highways to highways, airways to railways, we are building state-of-art infrastructure.
Guyana's President Dr. Irfan Ali said that India and Guyana are not just restricted to economy and trade, rather the ties are deeply personal and emotional.
India today is a world leader in innovation, technology, infrastructure, development, human capital advancement, and importantly, Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, India is a shining light in leadership, your leadership. It is no secret that the strength of your leadership, the passion and compassion of your leadership, the deliberateness of your leadership has placed India in a different light and realm around the globe. You have brought incredible respect, but more importantly, you have brought a level of dignity and pride to India that is unmatched, and we congratulate you on that.
India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi, along with Guyana's President Dr. Mohammad Irfan Ali, also interacted with prominent cricket personalities from the West Indies in Georgetown. Now that included Clive Lloyd, Alvin Kalicharan, Shivnarine Chandrapal, Devendra Bishu, Stephen Jacobs and Dr. Ranji Singhi Ramloop, among others. Talking of people-to-people ties, Prime Minister noted that cricket binds India with the Caribbean like no other medium. Guyanese cricket player Clive Lloyd welcomed India's initiative to train women cricketers and added that world needs many more Prime Ministers like Prime Minister Modi.
Had a good discussion. It seemed to be the conversation went very well, and I think 11 of our players will now be training in India. So it's been a very good decision by them, and we're thankful to them for that. The people have chosen him twice, so it's obvious that he's doing a good job. He's interested in cricket, and that's very good, and he's doing things to help to boost the cricket. So we'd like more prime ministers like him.
Former Indo-Guyanese cricketer Alvin Kalicharan said that Prime Minister Modi's knowledge about cricket is special. He also added that meeting Prime Minister was like magic.
Everybody in India knows cricket, but his knowledge is special because he knows when we went to India, he knows us by our first name, and me myself going to India often myself. So I'm able to have that interaction with India, and to meet the Prime Minister today, personally, it's magic. The connection is tremendous, and that kind of help to work with our young cricketers, girls cricket, men's cricket, whatever he does, any help, it is very kind of the Prime Minister and India.
Guyanese cricketer Devendra Bishu lauded Prime Minister's admiration for the sport and added that people of Guyana admire him.
It is amazing. When I was watching IPL, I always see him there, and meeting him for the first time is amazing. It's really, really amazing. Surprisingly, he know that I was looking for my parents when I was in there a few years back. He's an amazing guy. So far in the country, we welcome him with a warm welcome. Our president and him, they had a lot of events over the few days. I think the people in Guyana love him and really appreciate that he is here and spending a little bit time with our country, our culture, our diverse culture. So it's amazing having him here, and he seems so simple and down to earth, which is one good quality of a human being.
Earlier, Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the National Assembly of the Parliament of Guyana on Thursday. He is the first Indian Prime Minister to do so. The Prime Minister recalled the long-standing historical ties between India and Guyana. He also noted that India's mantra of humanity first inspires it to amplify the voice of the Global South, including at the recent G20 summit in Brazil.
History was made as Prime Minister Narendra Modi became the first Indian leader to address the National Assembly of the Parliament of Guyana. In his landmark address, the Prime Minister highlighted the deep historical ties between India and Guyana, rooted in centuries of shared culture, values and heritage. Expressing gratitude to the people of Guyana for the nation's highest honor bestowed upon him, he reaffirmed India's commitment to fostering global peace and unity.
मैं मानता हूं स्पेस हो, सी हो, ये यूनिवर्सल कॉन्फ्लिक्ट के नहीं बल्कि यूनिवर्सल कोऑपरेशन के विषय होने चाहिए। दुनिया के लिए भी ये समय कॉन्फ्लिक्ट का नहीं है, ये समय कॉन्फ्लिक्ट पैदा करने वाली कंडीशंस को पहचानने और उनको दूर करने का है।
Prime Minister Modi emphasized the shared democratic principles and a human-centric vision that unite India and Guyana. He underscored India's guiding philosophy of humanity first, which drives its efforts to amplify the voice of the global south and create a more equitable world order.
जहां एक नए वर्ल्ड ऑर्डर की तरफ बढ़ना था, दुनिया दूसरी ही चीजों में उलझ गई। इन परिस्थितियों में आज विश्व के सामने आगे बढ़ने का सबसे मजबूत मंत्र है डेमोक्रेसी फर्स्ट, ह्यूमैनिटी फर्स्ट।
Highlighting India's commitment to democracy, the Prime Minister said that it is ingrained in the nation's DNA. He reiterated India's vision of serving as Vishwa Bandhu, a friend to the world, working towards uniting the global community irrespective of the size or stature of a nation.
भारत ने हमेशा प्रिंसिपल्स के आधार पर, ट्रस्ट और ट्रांसपेरेंसी के आधार पर ही अपनी बात की है। एक भी देश, एक भी रीजन पीछे रह गया तो हमारे ग्लोबल गोल्स कभी हासिल नहीं हो पाएंगे। तभी भारत कहता है एवरी नेशन मैटर्स।
Prime Minister Modi also encouraged greater collaboration between India and Guyana, particularly in education and innovation, to unlock the immense potential of the youth in both nations. Together, India and Guyana can pave the way for a brighter and more inclusive future. With Siddharth Bharadwaj in Guyana, Bureau Report, DD India.
India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh met Defence Secretary of Philippines Gilberto Teodoro. The meeting marked another step towards deepening defence cooperation between the Philippines and India. Both sides affirmed the commitment to support each other to achieve the goal of self-reliance in defence production. Also, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh met Defence Minister of Japan, General Nikatani, in Lao PTR. The partnership will play a significant role in ensuring free, open and rules-based Indo-Pacific region. Earlier, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh met US Secretary of Defence Lloyd Austin on the sidelines of the 11th ASEAN Defence Ministers Meeting Plus in Lao PTR on Thursday. The two leaders commended the progress achieved by India-US defence partnership based on increased operational coordination, information sharing and industrial innovation. Both the sides recognized the remarkable progress made under the US-India Defence Industrial Cooperation Roadmap, including the ongoing collaboration to advance priority co-production arrangements for jet engines, munitions and ground mobility systems. Coordinated search and rescue efforts are underway for the remaining two crew of Indian fishing vessel Martoma, which reportedly collided with an Indian naval submarine on Thursday about 70 nautical miles off northwest of Goa. Additional assets, including from the Coast Guard, have been diverted to the area to augment the efforts. The cause of the investigation, in fact, the cause of the incident is being investigated, and 13 crew members on board the fishing vessel when it collided with the naval unit. You're watching DD India Live. We're heading for a short break, but after the break, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu calls the International Criminal Court anti-Semitic after the court issued arrest warrants against him and his former defense minister. We will also show you what's buzzing at the 55th International Film Festival of India in Goa. And in a delight to tourists and residents, snow brings flurries and slushy sidewalks to Paris. Welcome back after the break. You're watching DD India Live. Let's get you more updates. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu described the International Criminal Court as anti-Semitic on Thursday after it issued arrest warrants for him and his former defense minister. In a video statement, Netanyahu vowed that the warrant would not deter him from defending Israel.
The anti-Semitic decision of the International Court in The Hague is a modern Dreyfus trial, and it will end the same way. No biased anti-Israel decision in The Hague will prevent the State of Israel from defending its citizens. Israel will not recognize the validity of this decision. We will continue to do everything we must do to defend our citizens and defend our state against Iran's axis of terror.
U.S. President Joe Biden called the International Criminal Court's arrest warrants for top Israeli leaders as outrageous. Biden, in a White House statement, said that the U.S. will always stand with Israel against threats to its security. The United States rejected a decision by International Criminal Court to issue arrest warrants on Thursday for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his former defense chief. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said in a regular briefing that the U.S. is discussing next steps with its partners, including Israel.
We fundamentally reject the court's decision to issue arrest warrants for senior Israel officials. We remain deeply concerned by the prosecutor's rush to seek arrest warrants and the troubling process errors that led to this decision. The United States has been clear that the ICC does not have jurisdiction over this matter.
In a bid to secure a ceasefire to end Israel-Hezbollah conflict, the U.S. envoy Amos Hochstein met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in Tel Aviv. The U.S. envoy also met with Israel's Defense Minister Israel Katz in Tel Aviv on Thursday. Israel says its aim is to secure the return home of tens of thousands of people evacuated from its north due to rocket attacks by Hezbollah. Earlier, the U.S. envoy met with Lebanese Parliament Speaker Nabi Berri in Beirut on Wednesday. Berri has led mediation efforts on behalf of Hezbollah. Hochstein had said on Tuesday that an end to the war was within our grasp. Moving on, Russia fired a hypersonic intermediate-range ballistic missile (ICBM) at the city of Dnipro on Thursday in response to the US and UK allowing Kyiv to strike Russian territory with advanced Western weapons in a further escalation of the 33-month-old conflict. Russian President Vladimir Putin, in a televised address, said that Moscow struck a Ukrainian military facility with a new ballistic missile known as Oreshnik and warned that more could follow. Putin also said that the Ukraine conflict was escalating towards a global conflict after the US and Britain allowed Ukraine to hit Russia with their weapons and warned the West that Moscow could strike back.
In response to the use of American and British long-range weapons, on November 21st of this year, the Russian armed forces launched a combined attack on one of the facilities of the Ukrainian defense industry complex. In combat conditions, one of the newest Russian medium-range missile systems was also tested. In this case, with the ballistic missile in non-nuclear hypersonic equipment. Our missileman called it Oreshnik. The tests were successful. The goal of the launch was achieved.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on social media platform X said that the Russian strike on Ukraine with a new type of ballistic missile was a clear and severe escalation in the conflict and called for strong worldwide condemnation. He added, this is a clear and severe escalation in the scale and brutality of the conflict, and the use of a ballistic missile against Ukraine is yet more proof that Russia has no interest in peace. Further, Zelensky said that Putin is not just dragging out the conflict, but also disrespecting people around the world who truly want peace, and the world must respond. Further, the United States said that it was pre-notified ahead of a Russian attack on Ukraine with a new type of ballistic missile on Thursday.
In terms of notifications to the United States was pre-notified briefly before the launch through nuclear risk reduction channels. We just rolled out another $275 million package yesterday. You're going to see more packages continue in the weeks and months ahead left of this administration. So that's what we're really focused on.
All right, shifting focus to the U.S. now. President-elect Donald Trump, who is currently busy assembling his dream team for his second term, faces a significant setback when his first choice for the post of U.S. Attorney General, Matt Gaetz, withdrew his name. However, Trump promptly tapped Pam Bondi, the former Attorney General of Florida, to fill in the role. Here's a report.
U.S. President-elect Donald Trump tapped Pam Bondi as U.S. Attorney General following Matt Gaetz's withdrawal from the running. Pam is a staunch ally who helped defend Trump against impeachment. She was a member of Trump's legal team during his first Senate impeachment trial. Gaetz's retreat is due to sexual misconduct allegations leveled against him. The exit of Gaetz was the first setback for Trump and Vice President-elect J.D. Vance in placing key allies in top positions, but his confirmation by the Senate was widely seen as doomed due to lack of support from fellow Republicans. A congressional panel has been investigating alleged illegal activity by Gaetz, including sexual contact with a 17-year-old girl, which he denies, as well as drug use and misappropriating campaign funds. The latest transition upheaval ahead of Trump's inauguration on January 20th came as new lurid details emerged about Defense Secretary nominee Gaetz. He was investigated for sexual assault after a complaint from an unnamed woman at a 2017 conference in California. Gaetz denied sexual assault allegations on Thursday after meeting with Republican senators to build support for his nomination at the Capitol Hill.
I just want to thank the Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance, who spent the morning with me, meeting with Senators of the United States. We take very seriously the advice and consent role that the U.S. Senate has. We look forward to engaging in that process. We take absolutely nothing for granted, and we welcome the opportunity to talk to any senator that wants to talk to us.
Gaetz would need to be confirmed by the Senate to take the post. Trump has stood by Gaetz, calling the allegations false. Trump has made several eye-catching selections for top roles, including Fox News host Pete Gaetz as Defense Secretary, vaccine skeptic Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as Health Secretary, and billionaire Elon Musk to head a government cost-cutting unit.
In Pakistan, the death toll from two attacks in Northwest Province rose to 43. The incident happened on Thursday when gunmen opened fire on two separate convoys of Shiite Muslims traveling with police escorts in Kuram. Authorities have imposed a curfew and suspended mobile service in the remote mountainous district. No group claimed responsibility for the incident. The latest violence drew condemnation from Pakistani officials and human rights groups. Pakistan President Asif Ali Zardari and Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif condemned the attack and called for swift punishment of those responsible. Previous clashes in July and September killed dozens of people and ended only after a jirga called a ceasefire. Let's get you updates from the world of entertainment now. The 55th edition of Indian International Film Festival IIFF is underway in the western Indian state of Goa. Day 3 of IIFF is all set to witness a lot of action. From creative minds of tomorrow to Film Bazaar, a lot will be explored by cine enthusiasts at the event today. The masterclasses will continue to offer more valuable insights. Renowned film personalities including Nagarjuna Akkineni, Vidhu Vinod Chopra and Mani Ratnam are set to engage with audience. In sports, India are on the verge of collapsing on day 1 of the first test against Australia in Perth. Also, Australian bowlers are eyeing more wickets in order to maintain their dominance India's stand-in skipper Jasprit Bumrah won the toss and opted to bat first. With 4 pace options, India have included Washington Sundar as the only spin option. Apart from him, Devdutt Padikkal has also been included in the playing 11. Snow settled across Paris, turning pavements white and slushy and bringing delight to tourists and residents. In Montmartre neighborhood in northern Paris, steps to the Sacré-Cœur Basilica were covered in flurries, and tourists clad in winter coats took selfies as they took in the sweeping views of the city's snowy rooftops. That's it in this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those of you on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from across India and the world on DD India mobile app. This app is available on both Android and iOS platforms, and you can download the respective QR codes. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Preeti Kaur signing off, and from all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.